made noise and we went to the street and we demonstrated. And the people who benefited from this is Raila and his team. Yeah, they got all the CS positions, and us, it's like we were just left there hanging. They're not listening to us. It's now they've united. It's the government of Kenya versus the people, not the government of Kenya. It's the government versus Kenyans. Yeah. So my point is, if we have a very strong voice, but we need to sit at the table, or we need to have people at the table where critical decision making is being made, because there's no way that we can trust. We are saying, okay, there's selection, there's LSK, there's the parties, there's ISPAC and everything. There's no way we are still going to allow these same people that we have no trust on to have our best interest at heart. What am I saying? All I'm just trying to say right now, there's a petition that's being tabled in Parliament. Hopefully tomorrow we are working on it. And that petition, all that petition is just saying is that we want that the youth, at least youth and person of disabilities, PWD, one male, one female, or one PWD, to be part of the selection panel. And I feel like this is important, because if we have somebody who is there in the table where these tumbocrats are going to make decisions that are going to influence our lives, because I've been in this space and we are tired, there's hopelessness, but we're still fighting. And especially that the numbers of 247, nilisikia number nikasikia kama nitachizi. Nikikumbuka media says the media was reporting 60. And I'm like, why was the media reporting 60? I don't know, 50 for the longest time, ikafika 61, ikastall hapo. And yet the number right now is at 247. And me, the way I know, if the number is at 247, that number has been trimmed down. If the number has been trimmed down, it means there are more people and they're still trying to cover up. And Ruto is a strategist. Tulikuwa tumemaliza, and he went and purposefully picked Raila because he knew Raila has a say. There are people who Raila will say jump and they'll ask how high. If he didn't go for Raila, I don't see how Ruto would have survived till today. But Raila came on his side, and now they've bought each other some grace period, and now they're together. But now all I'm saying is, guys, if we are good at pushing tags, we are good at going, making our voices being heard. But I don't see how our voices will end up being heard, because our one voice is one kura. One kura is one vote. That's one vote too many. If we can have people, our people who we can front, 3 names that we can front based on that petition, so that at least as that selection panel is going on, it's just not fully influenced by people who already have a say. LSK, I have so much faith in LSK and as Faith Odembo as the president, but I cannot say I have faith in all the rest. Yeah? And by that, how many people? I've just minus 1 LSK. Is it 1 or 2 positions? That leaves 7. So those 7 are going to influence the commissioners that are going to be the ones that will handle the whole elections. So my plea is this. This is just the plea that I have, and even that's the petition that's being tabled has the same plea. If we could get our own people to be part of that selection panel, because we are 70% of the population. Our voice needs to be heard, and our representation, we are a movement, but this representation, we need now people to represent our voices in the tables where these people are making decisions that affect us, because at the end of the day, the decisions that they make, they will affect the common mwananchi. They're making decisions for the common mwananchi, but if they don't have the interests of the common mwananchi, bado tutachezwa. And Ruto is a strategist. He gave me an IBC tayari. Anaicheza, ni vile tu hatuoni. We're good, we're planning here, nane, that is good. But what I'd want is, even going forward, is we need to strategize. We need to be beating Ruto at his own game. Haezi kakuwa na to clap all the time. Right now, if we could get people to the IBC selection panel, I feel like our voices will start having, they'll be looking at that panel and then they see those 3 youths wako, they feel the presence of the Gen Z. But wakiwa kwa hizo room peke yao, sit tuna rely, maybe at times they'll have closed door meetings. You don't know Ruto is sending who with who na bahasha gani, Mr. Bahasha na bahasha zake kubwa. All this is influence, and this influence is going to the topmost thing, the IBC. This is our bet, guys, because just imagine the rage that you're feeling right now, and we're in 2024. 2027, imagine wakituibia kura, haitakuwa kitu poa.
All right.
So the selection panel, guys, if we can push to have people, the petition will be there tomorrow in Parliament.
All right.
And if it can work, it will be really good. That's all I had to say.
Thank you very much. Edgar, please ensure that speakers are not going beyond time so that everyone can speak. What was he saying at yours? Mimi is small wig, I'm what? No, everyone should speak whatever they want to say, as long as it is building towards whatever objective you want to achieve. 2 minutes maximum, and then you give someone else the mic. And if someone spoke last week, don't give them the mic.
Okay, thank you so much. Asante Chieng. So I'll move to Nick. Nick, niaje? Okay. Let me move to AK. How are you? You have the mic.
I'm good. Thank you very much for letting me jump up and speak. And I've been listening in for a while, and I just wanted to come up and just offer my a bit of advice in terms of what I'm hearing, and everybody, with concerns about the movement and getting the people together. And one of the things that caught my eye about this space was the amount of people here. And I think that's important. I think everybody can do their part to come together in spaces like this and learn from each other about the cause, about August 8th, and I think that's one way of doing it, and that's the way people can organize and come together in the streets there in Kenya, and that's the way that you can spread that message to each other. In different countries, you look at places like the United States, how they can organize protests and get movements together. Different places like that. It's just a lot of that comes from people connecting online first. And I think it's effective when you have the momentum of the people coming from spaces like this where, you have that connected togetherness, the shared beliefs and the shared perspectives, but also learning people with different perspectives that both believe in the cause. So I think that's important. I just wanted to come up and say, I posted a post here in the blue pill that I used with a little bit of references from some of the comments. I used Grok AI to make it, to just kind of give a quick description for people who don't necessarily know basically what everybody's talking about. And then I did also go and make a picture with AI just to demonstrate some more visual ways of getting people's attention. And I think that's, to me, what I try to do with different causes that I go around using X. It's a great platform, and it's only growing in its ability to connect the people against exactly what this cause is representing, which is rising up against corruption in the best interest of the people. You guys have support all the way around the world, and so I wanted to come up and just offer that to you and say, keep doing what you're doing, and we wish you the best.
Okay, thank you so much for your submission, and thank you so much for keeping it short. So I'm going to give John Osebe a chance. John, how are you? John? Sasa, okay, why should you request for the mic?
Hello.
When you are given the mic, you come up here and you do not speak. John, can you hear me?
Hello, sir. I can hear you.
Hello,
Okay,
Edgar.
I'll move
Edgar, can you hear
to
me?
Keoti Sonko.
Edgar, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Edgar, can you hear me?
Keoti Sonko.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edgar and Eric. Nachukua fursa hii kwanza kuwashukuru. So last week I was here, but I was unable to speak. I don't know what was happening with my device. but today I'm here. And I want to report to you guys that David Mugonyi of the CAK is currently meeting the editorial chiefs in the media sector and has already threatened them. So the editorial sector will face a trap because the advertorial chiefs have decided to sleep with the government. So guys, I'm giving you this information because currently the media, I mean the local media, the TV stations, the radio stations have already been compromised, and there was a time they were even threatened that they shouldn't cover the protests. So that is what is happening, and of course they have also barricaded the stops along the ways from 6 kutakuwa na ile msako. But still, we are not going to give up because we really want each and every person to come in CBD. Yeah. And our protests zitanza at exactly 7 a.m. and they will not end. Ikifika saa 12 jioni, we are not going to end like what happened on 25th. We'll still be in town. So guys, when you come in CBD, come prepared. Come with your charger. Come with your with your device ishakuwa charged. Come with anything you think inaweza sustain for at least 2 days, because nane is not going to be business as usual. We have been crying here and there, but the government, they have not listened to us. The other day when I spoke to one only William Ruto on the live space, I asked him why he was giving a person who is a lawyer the ministry for transport, and then akakuja kukalia masikio zake akachukua mtu mwenyewe anamweka in the ministry for sports. So I'm wondering what exactly this person knows, ama ni venye alichezea Bunge FC some other times. Anyway guys, personally I've been hosting the spaces overnight, trying to mobilize people and over the civic education, and I thank all of those who have been attending those sessions. I was in Mombasa, just like Ochi said the other day, and I met a few mamas walikuwa hapo Shanzu. These mamas had attended the meeting ya Ruto, and they were telling me that they were paid between 500 and 1,000. And so I tried to record them, and I edited that video, and lakini nilificha sura zao because I didn't want them to be exposed, and I posted here on X. So just know that whenever Ruto goes, hiyo crowd yako nayo, it's a paid crowd. Yeah. So how watu hata si ati they are chanting Ruto because they feel like he's the best leader. They are chanting because they have been paid. Na hizi vitu zinafanya hivi wana attend hizo vitu because they are so poor. Hawezi afford kuacha kuenda because at least akienda hapo atapatiwa shilingi 200 akuja anunue unga na imsustain. Just like the other day Eric said ye alilelewa na miwa. Ye mimi nimelelewa na changaa bwana, yeah? Now I don't want my children and my grandchildren to go through what I've gone through. Yeah? So we are asking people to come out in large numbers on Nane. And those influencers who are here, especially wale socialites and celebrities, musicians, we are calling you mkuje pia nyinyi mu amplify this voice, because sisi hapa ma small wigs peke yetu hatuwezi, and even the government is trying to divide us by promoting the small wigs na big wigs, big wigs our support small wigs. Yeah, so we find out that the TL is so messy, watu wanagombana left, right and center. So guys, I think we should end all those hizo mavita tumekuwa nazo hapa TL, and come we stick together, because if you are going to be scattered, then you are going to perish, just like Eric had said. So wale mko TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, here on X, Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, usiwahi lala kama haujongelesha at least watu 10 kuambia tarehe 8 mwezi wa 8 tuko nje hadi masaa 8 za usiku wa manane. Anyway, thank you so much Edgar na Eric.
Edgar. Hello, Edgar. Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, Edgar. It's John Osebe.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, go on. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I can say I'm a small wig, and my focus today was I wanted to talk about small wigs being abducted because they are complaining they are not getting attention when they are abducted. I think small wigs can just use the LSK contacts. Another way we can help these small wigs is we can dedicate a channel, one account on that day, on Thursday. If they can all tag maybe Cyprian or Eric, you just tag one person specifically for you to be heard, and you can find help. Besides abductions of small wigs, I wanted to say on Thursday I will attend. For the first time, I've been really amplifying online, retweets, likes. That's my part. I've been playing a lot, but this Thursday, the only reason I'm turning up and the reason I'm angry with this government is you look at everything, the cost is increasing, but the services are not matching the cost. You can imagine an ID that was being given free. Now you have to pay and wait. It's not even waiting, beg for you to get your ID. Passports, we cannot even start to talk about that. I don't know if there is a service in government that is working. I don't know if there is a service you can just walk in an office of a government, and you go home with the service you came to seek for without bribing or begging or just waiting without knowing whether you will get the service or not. It is just discouraging. And about jobs, if there is a pandemic right now, it's joblessness. We are just covering it very well.
Thank you.
Joblessness is a very serious issue.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Asante sana. I can see, Edgar, are you there? Today, the network was a bit bad, and I'm thinking I'll be buying Starlink. Who is next? Mkenya Daima. Then we continue. Edgar, are you there? Mkenya Daima, go on. Mkenya Daima?
Yes, can you be able to hear me?
Yes. I'm here. Edgar.
Yeah, go on, please.
Go on, please. Okay, thank you. The reason why today I picked the mic is I wanted to highlight and say that this fight is in all fronts, and I sat down and I said I'm not going to be left behind in terms of taking part in different sectors. I took time to go through the Nadco report, and I've been working alongside Diana and other lawyers. And the reason why, what happened, the way you saw many politicians celebrating the Nadco report, it is because they have already stolen the future elections When we are here fighting for how things should be done, they have already stolen the future election, and this is how they have been able to do it. When you go through the Nadco report, there are a few things that you're going to notice. One thing is they have given Azimio 2 slots, they have given Kenya Kwanza 2 slots, they have given the church a slot, the Muslims a slot, LSK a slot, and also they have given the accountants, certified accountants slots. So they are like 9 slots for the IBC selection panel. And the importance of this is that this IBC selection panel, it is the one that will choose the 70 commissioners. And the thing that I want us to know, I want everyone to know is we are not going to be left behind in terms of being on the table. That is one thing. And that is where they have been beating us. So I sat down and I said, I will not just be left behind. I'm going to go through the 520 pages of the Nadco report to make sure that I understand this report and also collaborate with other people. This is the first petition that will be presented to the parliament that I am part of. I don't care whether I'm a villager from Sekuru. For those who know me, I'm a villager from Sekuru and I've been mobilizing for Nane Nane from Sekuru. So I don't care about that aspect. Right now, I've realized that we are not going to take a back seat and say, oh, watatupangia. No, we are going to be part of those conversations. We are going to be on those tables whereby even when things go wrong, we clearly know that there is person for us. There are people who are telling me, Mkenya Daima, whatever LSK, the church, and the rest of the people decide to choose a youth. No, these are things that we demand. Youths and people living with disabilities have always had a representation in every aspect of our country. Where is it that when we come to the critical issues of IBC selection panel that is responsible for how we select our leaders and everything, that the Kenyan youths have been left out? No. Next week, we are hopefully that we are going to have a petition that will ensure that we get 3 slots as youths, 2 slots, 1 female and male, and also people living with disabilities. So we are looking for petition that is going to amend the law from 9 slots to 12 slots, whereby we get a position. And we want it to be on the books. We want it to be on pen and paper that we have a position on IBC selection panel. There is no way you're going to tell me we are 70% of the people and we are not part of the conversation. So that is an issue that I wanted to highlight. And when you see me, while I'm pushing for Nane Nane, I'm still pushing for the restructuring of IBC. And also behind the scene, I'm also following what needs to be done and also collaborating with the rest of the guys, with the lawyers, to make sure that we have a petition that is going to amend the IBC law that makes sure that we have 12 slots and we have been considered. Hatutaki ikuwe ni kama favor. That is, we have already moved from that. We are going to determine how we are ruled in this country. We are 70% of the people because remember we are projected to be around 57 million and we constitute around 14 million voters. So we are not going to let on people make decisions for us, because when you look at that, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, they are together. The church, it's no doubt they are in bed with the government. So 6 or 7 slots out of the 9 already, those people are in bed together. So we don't want them to steal future election, because that is what they have done. That's why you saw all of them signing the Nadco report and they were very happy. So that is something that I've been highlighting, and you guys, you need to understand. I want you guys to see the impact that has when we are furthering the agenda of making sure that we define the Kenya we live in. Eric, Cyprian and Edgar, thank you for the opportunity. That is the issue I've been highlighting. And behind the scene, I'm pushing for the petition. I think this is the first petition me as a villager I'll be part of, as a guy from Ukambani in Sekuru. And I'm urging you, when you see it, just support it. Thank you, because I'm pushing for us to make sure that we are part of the conversation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Edgar? You know, I have to confirm because my network is bad. Cyprian, can you hear me?
Eric, I think Edgar can't hear you because he just communicated with PM that he's not able to hear anything on the space.
Okay, thank you very much. So I see Billy Mijungu. Ben Sirkal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric and Cyprian and Edgar, for giving me this chance. I will go very fast, and I have taken my time every evening after work. I go to Jivanji Gardens. I go to a town at the CBD, trying to enlighten our people and trying to get the feedbacks of what they're seeing and what should be done. And I've come to realize that it is true that we have a problem in Kenya. People can see the problem, but the challenge is that so many people do not understand the causes of this problem. We are only trying to deal with the symptoms. I think the problem is very, very deep because the executive wing of government is not working, the legislature is not working, the judiciary is not working. There is nothing that is working in this country. Even the families, the social fabric of a society is torn totally. And I have analyzed this problem because if you want to analyze a problem, then you first understand the problem, you try to get the evidences, and then come up with recommendations. And if you talk to so many people in the streets, they're saying that the recommendation we have is protests. And you see, if we look at protest, that's a political solution for a political problem. So we've decided to have a political solution, but the problem that we're having as ourselves is that we are not ready to get organized. Because in my opinion, the political class have organized themselves. The minority of them have now organized themselves, and they've divided us into groups. They're categorizing us into the rural areas and the urban areas. So they've realized that this protest is going to be strong in the urban areas, and now they're going to campaign and give goodies and lie to the people in the rural areas. So I think as we move forward, you need to understand that the politicians have gathered, and it is important, however much we are trying to avoid this problem, it is important that we understand that for us to have a political solution, we have to get organized. I know we don't trust each other. There's the problem we're having. There's a lot of mistrust, but you need to risk to trust some of us. And I think on way forward, the only way we can have a genuine solution, because we realize that we have the solutions and we're trying to tell these people who are in power to come up with solutions, but the content of their character cannot allow them. So I think it is important to identify a few of us so that when the IBC is formed, we need to take over the legislative wing of this government. We need to take over parliament by making sure that the 200 members of parliament who are already weak are replaced, so that if we have 200 members of parliament, then we can change so much in this country. We can change so much. So because the protests, they have the monopoly of violence. They have the monopoly of illegal and legal violence. Right now, they're
Okay.
planning. Yeah. Can I
Yeah,
conclude?
wind up.
Yeah. So my point is, I think we need to spread these protests. Let's organize protests in the 47 counties, in the 290 constituencies, in the 1,450 wards. As we prepare for an election, the moment the IBC is out, we need to kick out the 200 members of parliament so that we can take over the legislative wing of this government. If we do that, then we can change so much, and people, even the public, can see that we really have an end to the protests that you're trying to organize. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And you can go to my channel is in the TikTok, Ben Sirikala. I'm trying to do a lot of civic education in the streets, in the churches, everywhere. I'm trying to make everybody to join us, understand that we have a problem and all of us must be part of this solution. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Godfrey? Godfrey? Shadi Oti? Yellow Book?
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, speak.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm just going to try to be as fast as possible just to air out my brain. So I'd like to thank the legal Aching for clearing the glass for maybe something I wanted to mention before.
Yellow Book, mute your mic.
I'd like to say that every system has. Can you hear me? Am I breaking? Hello. Yep. Hello.
Yeah, go on, please.
Okay, so every system has individual components with specific functions to perform, and we have done well so far. Kudos for our efforts. It's over time. Eventually, we are becoming smarter with time, but I feel like we're moving also slow. That's my naive point, but allow me to explain why. My great concern is that as much as we don't want to acknowledge it, we are playing a political game. Worse enough, we are against politicians, people who have a sense of humor, while mentioning their cute net worths. So our movement, it has caused a great shake, and it has resulted to response that none of us expected, actually, because we wanted to benefit, but only the political class is benefiting now. How are they benefiting? They are becoming united. Why are they becoming united? For their longevity. Because they are threatened and they need to keep their jobs. So has it worked? Yes. For now, maybe. Is there a way it will fail? Yes. How? I'm going to give you my brief idea, which I don't know if people are going to agree with this, but we need a system. Sadly, a political system. Why? Because that is the game. Thanks to Achieng for wiping our glasses again, clear. This is the reality we need to come into light with. Short term, we are in the streets, but long term, our previous generations and our future generations require us to effectively implement these Delulu ideas that we have. And eventually in the future, they want to see us implement these ideas. So we should we wait for the streets to win, to create a system? I don't think at all. I think we should start now. We need leaders, if not movers. We need to have a legislative arm, yes, our own, not really LSK. We need a communication team. I think that will be easy if we have a communication team and we have strategy after having a clear one vis-a-vis our demands. I think it will be easy for us to make these people understand what we really want. So
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and keep up the good work, guys.
George.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Eric. And Edgar, good to see you. Stay free, please. Maestro, I want to go back to something you said about 2 hours ago. That as we are fighting here on Twitter, there are people on the ground laying down foundations for the systems that we would want to effect the change that you are looking for. And I want to point out 2 things only about our seeds in agriculture and something Honorable Bogo said earlier on about vital organ transplants. And I want to give a very personal story about the vital organ transplants. My own mother has a cornea in her eye that was transplanted to her on the day that they were rejecting Miguna to come back into Kenya. If you remember that back in 2018, that very day, my mother's cornea had arrived at the airport from Florida. And the reason I had ordered a cornea for her from Florida is because our own systems in Kenya had failed us. My mother had a cornea transplant from a cornea that was harvested and donated to the Visa Oshwa hospital in Rolesho, across the street from Sinyaru Street. And the problem with that is it's an Indian-run hospital. And they run these donations of vital organs, but they do not use those organs on Kenyan recipients. They send the premium vital organs to India. So when you hear somebody, and this is going to shock most of you, that they are going to India for heart transplant, they are going to India for kidney transplant, they are going to India for cornea transplant, chances are those corneas are from Kenya. And so we wasted a lot of money on the first procedure on my mother because they gave us a very poor cornea. And now we had to repeat the procedure on my mom. When I went to Kenya in 2017, I found my mom had been blind for 3 years because that poor cornea did not work. So I worked with a doctor, professor of medicine, Professor Irako, and I told her, I want you to advise me. If it was your mother, what would you do? And she said, if it was my mother, I would get her premium cornea. And the premium cornea was in Florida. So we made arrangements. My mom needed some treatments to suppress some nerves that were growing on her eye. And when it was all clear, in March of 2018, around that time, the day Miguna was trying to come back to Kenya for the first time, she had a cornea transplant in the evening because the cornea was delayed at the airport because of the fracas of Miguna. And she was told, come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And I was on a video call with my sister as the nurse was removing the dressings on my mom's eye. And immediately she started seeing after 3 years being blind. And I'm only saying this to point out what you said. There are people on the ground making systems work for us. And what Honorable Bogo alluded to, as we are fixing things, we also need to fix the issue of vital organ donation and vital organ transplants so that we are not being short-charged. Our own people are the ones donating. Most of the time, and I'll tell you this, most of the time, you don't even know that your loved one who passed away had their vital organs harvested. So we need to mainstream that aspect so that our own people benefit from those procedures and we stop going to India to chase a heart that was harvested at a public hospital in Nairobi. Later on, in my pursuit for business, I formed a logistic company that deals with transportation of those same vital organs, the hearts, the kidney, the liver, the corneas. And so when in the comment section, when Honorable Bogo was saying a hut is about 33 million Kenya shillings, it's a little bit more like $1.5 million. But if we had those procedures done in Kenya, because you know it or you don't, those vital organs are being harvested from our loved ones that have passed on. That's an area we need to fix. Area number two, very briefly, we have been talking for the longest time about the agricultural seeds problem. I only have two brain cells. Sometimes it's only one that is working. So when I see a problem, I immediately activate a solution. So instead of us talking about the problem of GMOs and Bill Gates and this, they are doing this to us. How about we create systems that work for us? How about we create our own version of a global seed vote for Kenya, for East Africa, for Africa? There is a known global vote, seed vote, that is in Norway by the Arctic Ocean. So we have those indigenous seeds. I saw you, Maestro, posting some very colorful seeds, including those of maize, that are indigenous to our sub-Saharan region. Those very seeds are the ones that the Mexicans are thriving in the native Indian places of Mexico, because they are holding dear to their culture, their traditions, and their agricultural seeds. So those colorful corn, those maize seeds, that's what you would see in Yucatan region. I've been there. And when they are serving you food, like the tortillas, they would come in multiple colors. You know, coming from North America, you would think they put a color, food color on it. No, they are natural colors to the Yucatan Indians in that section of Mexico. How about we go back to when my grandmother was growing organic millet and sorghum and finger millet and dengu and jugu and dhuu, and then we have a vote where we are preserving those seeds for the future generations, so that when we need to replant, we are no longer victims of Bill Gates. We are supplying those seeds amongst ourselves from our own votes, dependent on the climate change, the climate sections of our Kenyan beautiful landscapes. Instead of being victims, let's be proactive and create food banks, seed banks for ourselves. And the reason I'm so insistent on lobby groups, special interest groups, is because those special groups, if you are a farmer from the Rift Valley, if you are a farmer from Ukabani, where Jugu and Imiji Dengu come from, then those farmers would form a special interest group that they can come together and lobby a member of parliament to push a bill in favor of their special interests, so that we are no longer victims of Bill Gates. We have people in positions of power that are shaping policies towards what is favorable for us. I don't think I need to add anything else. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. Cyprian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my network has been bad, but I've received some very good is it donations? Some 2 or 3 fellows have said they are going to buy for me Starlink. The network has been bad, and I'm also told our space has been reported from, of course, those fellows who receive money to come and abuse people here. So they have been reporting it massively. I think more than 100 times. So it keeps on going down, and people are unable to fetch it. So as we approach the tail end of the discussion, I just want to bring in someone called the real something. The network has been so bad today. I don't know if it was deliberate. I don't know, but it has been so bad. Very,
So
very
real quick, Maestro, and as you speak, you look like you are still muted on my end. There is a special offer going on Starlink for Kenya. Are you familiar what that price is?
I didn't check, but I think there is. Can you hear me, George?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it has gone down to 39,000. I think so.
That 9,000. That is 40,000.
Yes, but the monthly subscription remains 6,500.
I will send you 50% of that, and then the rest of the people can figure that out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We are effecting the change that we want.
Asante sana.
I'll be on your inbox for your M-Pesa.
Okay. Vincent.
Hello, everyone. I think
who is speaking?
The real Vincent is me. Vincent.
Yes, go on. 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. I don't think I have a lot to say. We meet on the streets, and very fast after 8, I think we need to start acting. We've been empowering each other on the space so much. We need to come with guidelines that how we are going to start hitting on the ground. When Ruto wanted to become a president of this country, he went on the streets and he went on the ground to manipulate our people. Kenyans don't get news on social media much. The only enlightened population that gets social media networks news are our youth. So if we want to, the big chunk of the population that we need to face are our parents. And this is politics. And if we have to change anything, we have to do politics. If you saw South Africa, there are people who came out to lead these movements. If you go to America, the likes of Martin Luther King, those guys were speaking on the podium. We need to have people who are speaking. And for us, for me, I'm ready. On the ground, we need to hit those ground and have rallies. Let us come with a strategy and raise funds. We don't even need to start registering a party now. Let us just go have Gen Z movements or Gen Z rallies. We say this weekend we will be in Mombasa. Next weekend, we give them a schedule. The same way is having a schedule to go to Mombasa, to go to Nyeri and go and lie. Let us also go there. Let us go and speak to the people. The people will record this messaging and also spread it. Another thing, let us dare the government. If any case the loans are being taken from the World Bank and the loans are what is weighing us back, let us come out with a till number or even a pay bill to KCB that you want to pay the World Bank. Let's say we have an account in KCB and tell them we are going to plead with the world that loans are choking our economy. Let us come and raise anything that we can, any money that we can raise. Let us go and offset the loan. They will be scared and they will also know that at least something is going on. If we continue holding spaces on X and we are not acting on the ground, and with them, you see, the reason why they needed Baba, they know Raila has masses, and the people, so many people follow Raila. When Raila was oppressed in the parliament, he left the parliament walking, and he went to Kibera and told them, if you don't want me, bring the change again to the people. The people will always feel you when you go to them. Let us face this thing. Tusiogope, tusiseme nani to betray, nani to betray. No, let's have the people who are courageous enough. We have enough young people outside here who can speak, who can address these issues. Let us go to the podium. Tuende tu kata Kamkunji, hata kina Raila walienda sijui hiyo 77 walienda Kamkunji, wengine walienda Uhuru Park. Let us go somewhere and say we are going to Kisumu this weekend. You will see people will turn up, and this movement will be a threat towards 2016, because the only thing we can do is vote at the ballot. The last thing, IBC, you see they're setting up IBC. We should also be ready on this other side. We are good in tech, we are good in mobilizing hosting servers, and we are also good in having a communication relayed from the villages. We will have each and every polling station having our people. We have our tallying center, we have our server backing all those things up. That is when we will have democracy leading in Kenya, and we elect leaders who can deliver for us. That is the only submission I have for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Cyprian?
Yes, Eric, I can hear you.
Am I clear?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, maybe I can give you 3 minutes. You say something, then we wind up.
Okay. So it's been a very engaging discussion, and it was nice to get to hear everyone share their views, and we tried to pass the mic around as many times as we could, but the space appeared to have technical issues throughout, so we tried our best, and I hope as many of you got to express your opinions. So yeah, it's important to keep having such conversations and having such engagements. So let us hope that next time we get to have this conversation, we won't get to have too many technical issues. But all in all, it was engaging, and we got to hear some very insightful remarks. So thank you so much to everyone who joined, and have yourselves a good night. I think that's all.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So we have MC Njagi, who came here with a very painful story. We didn't finish that story because many speakers wanted to speak out. So if you're in a position to support him, if you're in a position to give him a second opportunity, possibly to restart his career or restart his singing talent, you can of course get me in the inbox. I'll give you his details, his number, so that we can pull him. Our interest is to pull people from the bins. Otherwise, thank you very much. I had talked to Pastor Nganga to join us, but I think he didn't. He was busy. I wanted him to tell us a lot of things about spirituality and his position when it comes to the Nane Nane movement. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
fellow Nigerians, I speak to you today heart and sense of responsibility, aware of the turmoil and violent protests unleashed in some of our states. Notably, among the protesters were young Nigerians who desired a better and more progressive country where their dreams, hope, and personal aspiration will be fulfilled. I am especially pained by the loss of life in Jkia, Kano, Kaduna, and other states, the destruction of facilities in some states, and the wanton looting of supermarkets and shops, contrary to the promise of protest organizers that the protest will be peaceful across the country. The destruction of properties set us back as a nation, as scarce resources will be again used to restore. I commiserate with the families and relations of those who have died in the protest. We must stop further bloodshed, violence, and destruction. As the president of this country, I must ensure public order in line with the constitutional oath to protect the lives and property of every citizen. Our government will not stand idly by and allow a few political agenda to tear this nation apart. Under the circumstances, I hereby enjoin protesters and the organizers to suspend any further protest and create room for dialogue, which I have always acceded to at the slightest opportunity. Nigeria requires all hands on deck and need us all, regardless of age, party, religion, or other divides, to work together, reshaping our destiny as a nation. To those who have taken undue advantage of this situation to threaten any section of this country, be warned. The law will catch up with you. There is no place for ethnic bigotry or such threats in the Nigeria we seek to build. Our democracy progresses the right of every Nigerian are respected and protected. Our law enforcement agencies should continue to ensure full protection of life and properties of innocent citizens in a responsible manner. My vision for our country is one of a just and prosperous nation where each person may enjoy the peace, freedom, and good that only democratic good governance can provide. One that is open, transparent, and accountable to the Nigerian people. For decades, our economy has remained anemic and taken a dip because of many misalignments that have stunted our growth. Just over a year ago, our dear country, Nigeria, reached a point where we couldn't afford to continue to use to solve long-term problems for the sake of now and our unborn generations. I therefore took the painful yet necessary decision to remove a subsidy and abolish multiple foreign exchange system, which had constituted a noose around the economic jugular of our nation and impede our economic development and progress. These actions block the greedy profit that smugglers and rent seekers made. They also block the undue subsidy we had extended to our neighboring countries to the detriment of our people, rendering our economy prostrate. These decisions are made were necessary if we must reverse the decades of economic mismanagement that didn't serve us well. Yes, I agree. The buck stops on my table. I assure you that I am focused fully on delivering the governance to the people, good governance for that matter. In the past 14 months, our government has made significant strides in rebuilding the foundation of our economy to carry us into a future of plenty and abundance. On the physical side, aggregate government revenue has more than doubled, hitting over 9 in the first half of 2024 compared to the first half of 2023 due to our efforts at blocking leakages, introducing automation, and mobilizing funds creatively without additional burden on the people. Productivity is gradually increasing in the non-oil sector, reaching new levels and taking advantage of the opportunities ambience. My dear brothers and sisters, we have come this far, coming from a place where our country spent 97% of all our revenue on debt service. We have been able to reduce that to 68% in the last 13 months. We have also cleared legitimate outstanding foreign exchange obligations of about $5 billion without any adverse impact on our. This has given us more financial freedom and room to spend more money on you, our citizens, to fund essential social services like education and health care. It has also led to our state and local government receiving highest allocation ever in our country's history from the Federation account. We have also embarked on major infrastructure projects. We are working to complete inherited projects critical to our economic prosperity, including roads, bridges, railways, power and oil and gas development. Notably, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Sokoto-Badagry Highway projects will open up 16 connecting states, creating thousands of jobs and boosting economic output through trade, tourism, and migration. Our once declining oil and gas industry is experiencing a resurgence on the back of the reforms I announced in May 2024 to address the gaps in the Petroleum Industry Act. Last month, we increased our oil production to 1.61 million barrels per day, and our gas assets are receiving the attention they deserve. Investors are coming back into foreign direct investments, signed over $500 million since then. Fellow Nigerians, we are a country blessed with both oil and gas resources, but we met a country that had been dependent solely on oil-based petrol, neglecting its gas resources to power the economy. We were also using our hard-earned foreign exchange to subsidize the use. To address this, we immediately launched our compressed natural gas initiative, CNG, to power our transportation economy and bring us down. This will save over 2 trillion naira a month being used to import PMS and AGO and free up our resources for more investment in healthcare and education. To this end, we'll be distributing of extremely low or no cost to commercial vehicles that transport people and goods and who currently consume 80% of imported PMS and AGO. We have started the distribution of conversion kits and setting up of conversion centers across the country in conjunction with the private sector. We believe that this CNG initiative will reduce transportation costs by approximately 60% and help to curb inflation. Our administration has shown its commitment to the youth by setting up the student loan scheme. To date, 45.6 billion has already been processed for payment to students and their respective institutions. I encourage more of our vibrant youth population of this opportunity. We established the Consumer Credit Corporation with over 200 billion to help Nigeria to acquire essential products without the need for immediate cash payment, making life easier for millions of households. This will consequently reduce corruption and eliminate cash and opaque transactions. This week, I ordered the release of an additional 50 billion each for NEL Fund, the student loan, and Credit Corporation for the proceeds of crime recovered by the EFCC. Additionally, we have secured $620 million under the Digital and Creative Enterprises, IDICE, a program to empower our young people, creating millions of IT and technical jobs that will make them globally competitive. This program, the 3 million technical talent scheme, unfortunately, one of digital centers was vandalized during the protests in Kano. What a shame. In addition, we have introduced the Skill Up Artisans Program, SUPER, the Nigerian Youth Academy, NIA, and the National Youth Talent Export Program, NATEP. Also, more than 517 billion used to the 36 states to expand livelihood support to their citizens, while 600,000 nano businesses have benefited from our nano grants. An additional 400,000 more nano businesses are expected to benefit. Furthermore, 75,000 beneficiaries have processed to receive our 1 million micro and digit interest loans starting this month. We have also built